So this is going to be part 2 of Daniel the Beloved. In the first part, I went into the similarities of Daniel the Beloved and John the Beloved. Alright, proving that they was indeed the same spirit. That was the same person, because the Most High, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah, give each prophet his lot. Alright, every prophet had their certain prophecies. Alright, Ezekiel had his certain lot, Daniel his certain lot, Jeremiah, the prophet Ezra, and so on and so on. And the portion Daniel had is the same portion John had. So this was the same man. And while in this video we're gonna still prove, alright, that they're the same person, but more in this video we're gonna go into the prophecies itself. Like as you watch the screen here, this is the statue according to Nebuchadnezzar's dream, which basically is a timeline. And what this timeline represents is the nations and kingdoms that's going to play out on the earth, but in particular the fall of these kingdoms. And Daniel was given that lot. So when you go into the time of the end, which we're in now, that's still Daniel's lot, which is John, alright, in the end. And when you look at this statue, you know, the head of gold that represents the Babylonian Empire, the arms of silver, the Media-Persian Empire, you know, you got the brass, right, the Greek, right, but the legs is the Roman Empire, and the reason why they are the legs, because when you examine the human body, the legs is the longest part of your body. So, the Roman Empire, you know, with all the different Caesars, starting with Julius, they had the longest run, but what we're going to focus on is the feet. Why? Because those are the times we're in now. And the feet were made, you know, part iron, part clay, which represents EU and the NATO. So that's the kingdom that was ruling before that stone that was carved from a mountain came and destroyed all the nations. He conquered all the nations. And that is recorded in the book of Revelation. This same image you see on the screen is recorded in the book of Revelation, and we're going to go to it. So before I start, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the hopeful elect Akim. Alright, now this is the book of Daniel 2 and 41. And whereas thou sawest the feet and toes, part of potter's clay and part of iron, the kingdom shall be divided, but there shall be in of it the strength of the iron, for as much as thou sawest the iron mixed with the miry clay. Verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And that's the times that we're in now, because you got to remember, if you examine the human body, what's the end of the body? The feet. But when you go even deeper, what's the very end of the body? The toes. So that's why this scripture is telling you about the 10 toes being the end of this dreadful statue. Alright, and the 10 toes represents EU and NATO, which are partly strong and partly weak. Alright, the clay is the weak countries, like, you know, you got Britain now with a pound and drop. You got Greece and many more, and you got other stronger countries. Alright, I think Sweden, you know, but that's basically the timeline. Alright, then you know the times that we're in. Alright, verse 40, let me read that again. Verse 43, and whereas thou sawest, Salaki, verse 42, and as the toes of the feet were part iron and part of clay. Now, how many toes is on the body? 10 toes. So when you jump to the book of Revelation, the 17th chapter, it says, and the 10 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. So the ten kings here in Revelation is tied in with the 10 toes. All right, this is still in the book of Revelation. This is the book of Revelation 17 and 8. Salakia, 12. And the 10 horns which thou sawest are 10 kings, which have received no kingdom as yet, but receive power as kings 1 hour with the beast. So there go the 10 horns again, all right? Well, Daniel called them the 10 toes, but now Daniel is calling them the 10 horns, all right? And the 10 horns represents EU and NATO, because right now EU and NATO is like 24, 25 odd countries strong, but it started off as 10, and they broke off into different facets. So this scripture is very much alive and well, all right? These are all prophecies. Now, back in the book of Daniel, this is Daniel 2 and 44. I started 43. And whereas thou sawest the iron mixed with the clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So that's why you see Britain and different countries leaving from the EU, because they can't mix, just as iron and clay don't mix. Verse 44, and in the days of these kings, which is NATO, which is now, shall the power of heaven set up a kingdom. And that's what's going on now. That's why you see the camps coming together, which shall never be destroyed, all right? And the kingdom shall not be left to other people, but it shall break in pieces and consume all these kingdoms, and it shall stand forever. Verse 45, for as much as thou sawest the stone was cut out of the mountain, all right, and you see right here on this image a stone coming, but the stone is coming to hit the 10 toes, all right, and that stone represents Yahushua. For as much as thou sawest the stone was cut out of the mountain without hands, and that it break in pieces the iron, the brass, the clay, the silver, and the gold, the great power have made it known to the king what shall come to pass hereafter, and the dream is certain, and the interpretation thereof is sure. All right, so now we're going to look at that stone again. We're going to look more into this stone, which is Yahushua. All right, that stone came and when he came, he tore the whole kingdom down. So that represents Yahushua. Now, okay, now this is the book of Daniel 2, and I'm gonna start up. I start at 32. This Daniel breaking the dream down to the king. This image head was of fine gold, his breast and his arms of silver, his belly and his thighs of brass, his legs of iron, his feet part of iron and part of clay. Thou sawest till that a stone was cut out without hands, which smote the image upon his feet that were iron of clay, and break them in pieces. Now it said that stone were cut without hands, it smote the image. All right, so thus bringing the whole kingdom down and bringing that kingdom to subjection under him. Now where else will you find that at? In the book of Revelation. All right, this is the book of Revelation, the 19th chapter. All right, this is the book of Revelation 19. And 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he should smite the nations. That's the same stone. That's why when you read in Daniel, it said the stone smote the nations. It smote this timeline. All right, I'm gonna read it again. Revelation 19 and 15. And out of his mouth goeth a sharp sword, that with it he shall smite the nations, and he shall rule them with a rod of iron, and he treadeth the winepress of the fierceness and wrath of the almighty power. So he shall rule, he shall rule the nations with a rod of iron. So he's all these nations that was before him is going to come under his subjection. So that's another scripture tying Daniel and John together, which ultimately is important because, like I said, the reason why they was called the beloved is symbolic, because if you're able to go into the book of Daniel and the book of Revelation, that means that you're beloved because Yahweh Shai himself has opened up his mysteries, man. So, with that, I hope you was edified. And, oh yeah, and by the way, like the scripture say, Yahweh Shai wore many crowns. So that's him taking all these kingdoms. He's gonna take over them kingdoms, man. So with that, shalom.